I'm your host of The Shooting Show. I'm Johnny Rowland, and friends, we are indeed very pleased to be here. This show is airing for the first time on satellite on New Year's Eve, and we want everyone to have a safe and happy New Year's Eve. We hope that all of you had a great Christmas. We hope you've had a great Hanukkah, if that's what you celebrated. But let me tell you what, we are so thankful to be here and have a chance to reclaim what used to be the United States of America. Friends, we have a great show for you. I think we're going to go back in time on today's program. We have some things looking back. Realize that we're closing out our 10th year on the air. And I can, as I've said before, I can hardly believe it myself. It's gone by quickly. A lot more gray here than used to be. And I earned every one of them. But as many of you have, in our struggle to retain our freedom, in our struggle to retain our identity as free Americans, we are indeed very pleased to be here. And friends, feel free to chuckle at some of our past episodes we may show, but we're so glad that we've been able to do all these programs all this time. Something that has happened, a tragedy in Massachusetts, Wakefield, Massachusetts this week. A crazy man went in and killed 7 people. He did it with guns. And of course, there in Massachusetts, it's a very, very highly regulated gun area. This man could go into that office building, and he knew he would face no resistance. He knew he could go in and slaughter people because he would face no resistance, because he was sure none of those people were armed. One person in that company that had a gun and knew how to use it, one person could have stopped a maniac from killing 7 people. One person. But there wasn't that one person. You know, I heard of a wreck a while back here in Texas, next door to us here, where 10 or 11 people were killed because of a drunk driver. Well, you know, I hadn't heard anyone talk about banning alcohol. I hadn't heard of anyone talking about banning vans, because a lot of people were in a van. I hadn't heard of anyone trying to sue the automobile manufacturer on that van, yet those 10 people were just as dead as those that were shot in Massachusetts. No one's talking about banning liquor, because they blame, who they blame? The drunk driver. That's who's blamed, the drunk driver. It wasn't the alcohol, it wasn't the automobile, it was the individual. Well, why can't the same thing apply to firearms? They're just a tool. And you know, in all violent crime, firearms are only present 12% of the time anyway. So what are the anti-gun types going to do about the other 88% of violent crime? Well, they don't get it, and they can't get it. That's why the people who would disarm us must be defeated. There's already calls for more gun elimination. Oh, yes. Now, friends, a gun-free America is an America that I don't want to live in, because that will be police state America. That will be the citizens in a helpless state in America. I don't want to live there. And I don't want to go anywhere else. And our founding fathers provided for personal defense. We're facing some pretty tough financial times at the moment. We have to buy airtime for the month coming up this next week. If you can help us stay on the air, because friends, we're going to get that uplink running. We're going to get the channel eventually. We're going to get it running. We've got a window of opportunity here if Bill Clinton goes ahead and gets out of office. We've got a window of opportunity where at least we won't have rabid hostility coming out of Washington. I don't think we're going to be embraced with open arms, but we won't be facing rabid hostility. If you can help us stay on the air, please sit down and write a contribution to The Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Beverly, Louisiana, our zip code 71024. Now, friends, we haven't come, all of us together have not come all this way for nothing. We haven't come all this far for nothing. If there's a time when we're going to dig in and fight the anti-gun juggernaut, it's now. Because now we can make some headway. In the coming year, we can make some headway against standing up for who we are, not who they want us to be, but we're going to stand for who we are and who our forefathers designed a plan so we could be. We're glad to have you with us, friends. Please, please help us if you can. And let's do a little looking back. Let's take a break first. We'll be right back with more of the Shooting Show.
Stay tuned for more of the Shooting Show after these important messages.
The Shooting Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, this is the new Georgia Arms 20th anniversary catalog. Of course, has a memorial there to our good friend Jim Clark there on the cover. This is a terrific catalog from the finest ammunition maker in the United States. They have all kinds of great prices on all sorts of ammunition: 243 Winchester, 270s, 7.62 by 39 Russian, all kinds of great stuff. They've even got 308 tracers, 30-06 tracers, all kinds of neat stuff here in this great new Georgia Arms catalog. They have components if you want to load your own ammo, and look here, we've got the Shooting Show and our new 460 Rowland kit on sale as well. Georgia Arms has the best prices for custom grade ammunition that I'm aware of in the United States, and guess what else? They're helping to support our Shooting Show. Friends, give them a call today. Free phone call, free catalog, 1-800-624-6861, 1-800-624-6861 from Georgia Arms, and please remember to tell them that you heard it and saw it here on our program. Well, friends, you know hunting season is just around the corner. In fact, in some areas it's already begun here for bow hunting. But this is our 50 caliber black powder gun, and I'll tell you, we've had a lot of interest by black powder tape that we're selling on the program, which is really a terrific tape. So we're going to touch on black powder a little bit here today and show you just a couple of things that are out there. These are old-timey guns. This is our old Hawken copy. This is from Thompson Center, and this is really a good shooting gun. It's in 50 caliber, and they have a remarkable amount of powder once you understand the difference in how black powder operates versus smokeless powder. I would suggest when you come out, when you're going to fool with black powder, I'd wear some old clothes like these that you don't mind getting messed up, because black powder is, you can't have it, you're going to get it on, you're going to get the soot and the junk, the crud there on you, but it'll wash off. It's not a problem, but we certainly recommend wearing some old clothes, and bring you some paper towels and things, because you're going to get grease on your hands if you're shooting the lubed bullets. Can't be helped. But they are really a lot of fun, and by shooting these old black powder guns, you can go back in time somewhat, and you can see what our forefathers, our ancestors just had to deal with. And of course, the accuracy was of utmost importance, because most of these guns were single shots. And if you missed on your first shot, there may not be time for a quick reload. A lot of the old timers, the pictures of the old pioneers, they had a big Bowie knife on one side there, sometimes a tomahawk, because if they were shooting at something that could bite back, well, sometimes they had to go to plan B, which is the tomahawk, or to the Bowie knife, or to a big single shot pistol. This is a percussion gun. The flintlocks were in use probably longer than any other ignition system, but the percussion version came online in the 1820s or 30s, along in that time frame. And I personally like percussion caps because they're more reliable, as in my experience anyway. And also, I don't like the thought of having a flash go off up close to my eyes. I much prefer that percussion cap there. It's a little simpler, and like I said, your reliability of ignition, I think, is a little better, of course. You can actually shoot a percussion gun if you have it fairly well covered. Even if it's misting rain or something, you're not going to get any moisture into that powder. On a flintlock gun, if it's misting rain or raining, you're just about out of luck. But you can these will actually still work within reasonable limits, of course. Well, we have a couple of interesting developments here. This is a Barnes 300 grain solid brass bullet. It's sort of an X bullet, which Barnes has been making for a while. And this one is a 45 caliber. Now you can see there on your picture it goes in this little plastic gizmo here. This is called a sabot, and a lot of people call them sabots. I think the actual French pronunciation was sabot. And what this does, it literally fills the space between this bullet and the bigger circumference or the bigger diameter of the barrel. So it gives you a good gas seal for the black powder. And I'm hearing some good things. In fact, our good friend Jim Starr says he especially likes the 45 caliber soft nose or hollow point pistol bullets in his black powder hunting. But you see, in comparison here, we have a lead bullet of around 370 or 400 grains, somewhere there. And you can see that this brass bullet is quite a bit longer because, of course, it's not as heavy as lead. And one other thing about the brass bullet, it is harder than lead. So the sabot is a good idea because it is softer, and your rifling will actually be impressed on the plastic sabot here as it travels down the barrel, and you don't get a raise in pressures that you would get from a solid, say, brass bullet like this Barnes sabot bullet. Well, let's see. Now, I haven't shot these before. We're going to use our 100 grain load, 100 grains of double F in this black powder gun, and we're going to check point of impact. Now, realize your velocities are going to be, with this 300 grain bullet, a couple of 100 feet per second faster than with the 370 or 400 grain lead bullet. We also have some 250 grain bullets. We're going to be shooting the 300s today, though, and just check on see, one, how they shoot out of this particular gun, and we'll see about point of impact changes. Now, the good folks from Barnes have put a ballistics chart, which is going to be an average for this type of gun on the back of their package. This is a real neat system that they've cooked up here, and let's your guess is as good as mine. I'm learning right along with you. Let's just see how this gun does. We're going to shoot some 3-shot groups out here at our 100-yard range. We have our paper targets down there in place, and the loading situation is the same for shooting like a solid bullet. Now, we don't have any patch ball bullets. We're just going to use the solid model here, the maxi ball, and also this sabot bullet here. The same procedure, just put it in the barrel, get it started down, and Barnes did include a little tool here that helps center the bullet there, and it looks real good. One, you've got a great big hollow point, and I would think if your velocities are good enough, this hollow point would open up. I would think so. And plus your trajectory is going to be considerably better, and your bullet cannot it can't blow up because it's one solid piece of metal. So like I said, loading procedure is the same. We're going to run some caps through this gun, clean the barrel out, de-oil it. That's why you run some caps through it, because it has been in storage for a while. And let's just see what it does. Tell you what, shooting one of these things, this old hard butt plate, is not so bad offhand, but let me tell you what, off the bench, that thing's sharp, pounds you pretty good.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
It's nice to be able to report a battle with a happy ending. Had we lost, the consequences would have been catastrophic. Defense Department authorization bills are not likely places to look for gun control, but that's where a monster gun grab had been tucked away. Supposedly the problem to be solved was an attempt to close the barn door after the horse was out. Namely, the administration allowed the sale of a fighter plane assembly line to the communist regime of mainland China. The solution involved using a wrecking ball to kill a bug. The Defense Department would have been authorized to confiscate and destroy any military surplus item that had ever been sold by the government. 1911 45s, M1As, uniforms, ammo, scopes, antique planes, and anti-aircraft guns in front of VFW posts, and much more. It was pretty sneaky, too, because the definition of munitions was not in the bill. All that one found was that munitions were defined as the same as in the Export-Import Act. GOA had to go there to find the list, and it's a long one. Gun Owners of America put out email and fax alerts asking our members to contact their congressman and demand removal of this incredible gun grab. The bill had already passed both houses of Congress by a huge margin. Nobody reads the bills, and was in a conference committee to iron out differences. One of the members of that committee, anti-gun Republican Senator John Warner of Virginia, was crucial. GOA mailed postcards to our members in the state urging them to put the heat on Warner. 2 days after the mail went out, Warner's office called asking what was going on. We told them they were on the verge of angering not only gun owners, but veterans as well. The message clearly got through. Thanks to the tireless members of Gun Owners of America, who are always ready when called, Congress felt the heat. The Pearl Harbor attack on the Second Amendment was averted by the flood of calls and email directed to Congress. From Washington, this is Larry Pratt for Gun Owners of America.
Friends, you know, you can find out more about Gun Owners of America by calling 888-886-GUNS, 888-886-4867, or you can find them on the internet at www.gunowners.org. Remember, they're helping to keep us on the air. They're doing a great job. Friends, here we are at the Soldier Fortune Convention at the Sands Convention Center in Las Vegas. Let's look at some highlights of the show. Well, let's go to the team shoot-off on Saturday morning of the three-gun championship. Some of the team shoot-off competition on Saturday morning. Here's our good friend and shooting show sponsor, Jim Clark here. Certainly wish his group a lot of luck. Say our friend Jim's on the right team, and they've chosen the left side of the course here.
Okay, that was another clean, close run. There were no penalties, and so the back goes to team on the right, on the left.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The 44 Magnum is a great cartridge, but it has a lot of noise and a lot of recoil. Wouldn't it be nice to have the same power level in the slim and compact and lightweight 1911 style gun? Same power level, not nearly as much or recoil. You can have it with our pistol kit. Here's the 45 Auto on a water bottle target. Now let's shoot the other target with the same gun fitted with our 460 Rowland pistol kit. Or how about the power of this lever action rifle in a lightweight, handy semi-automatic carbine? The 460 Rowland MechTech carbine conversion unit for the 1911 frame is only $345 plus shipping, and the 460 Rowland pistol kit for the 1911 pistol is only $275 plus shipping. Now friends, you'll see it says here 50 Action Express caliber, Bowen Classic Arms Corporation. It also says Super Red Hawk. Now then, this is a Ruger Super Red Hawk that has been converted by Hamilton Bowen in his shop there in Louisville, Tennessee, and it is a very, very refined gun now. He made it into a 5-shot instead of a 6-shot, a gun that will take this full moon clip here, loaded with 50 Action Express cartridges. Well, let's go ahead and load it. You'll notice you can load all 5 there very easily. And let me tell you what, friends, this is a fabulous performing heavy handgun. Let's see what it looks like on this water bottle. Yes, indeed. Friends, I tell you what, we get some guns in that are certainly interesting, but this one from Hamilton Bowen is both interesting and exciting because, one, its capabilities are certainly beyond the realm of what most of us will commonly encounter. Now, you can see in comparison to the regular Super Red Hawk, they look very similar. Now, we, of course, changed the grip on our Super Red Hawk out for the Hogue grip, but honestly, this standard Ruger grip on the harder recoiling cartridge like this 50 Action Express, there may actually be some advantage because we just don't seem to get the recoil sensation that we have from other 50 Action Express guns, such as this Grizzly here. Now, this conversion on the Ruger Super Red Hawk has a 6.5-inch barrel, and of course it is a 5-shooter loading with that full moon clip. it is just about the same size as the LAR Grizzly. And don't get me wrong, the Grizzlies are very, very fine semi-automatics, but this is a horse of a different, not only a different color, a whole different breed. Let me tell you what, it is lighter than the Grizzly 50 there. Of course, another advantage the revolver has for any cartridge, it doesn't throw your empties all around, so that's important to a lot of us that are hand loaders. I'll tell you what, friends, I have read for years about Hamilton Bowen's work, and some of the nicest things have been said about the stuff that comes out of their gun shop, and I tell you what, it is no joke. This looks as much like a factory. In fact, it looks a little better, to tell you the truth, in my estimation, than the factory gun itself. It certainly has been smoothed and slicked up somewhat. They really do as nice a conversion as I've ever seen on a factory gun of any type. I tell you, they have a whole list of products for the Ruger handguns, because they sort of specialize in Rugers, although they do some work on Smith & Wessons and other guns, but on the big calibers. Hamilton's done a lot of work with the Ruger single actions, making the super calibers on the Ruger single actions, and honestly, I didn't know they made this conversion for the Super Red Hawk. They also do different conversions on the standard Red Hawk gun and on the other Ruger guns, but this is such a neat concept because literally with this full moon clip you have a very rapid loading super powered handgun that's portable.
Friends, I tell you, it's fun looking back in time, isn't it? A broadcast copy of our shooting shows are archived at Jim's House of Videos, area 318-869-0439, or on the internet at jimshouseofvideos.com. And now for our support group, we have Custom Leatherwork and Saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. We have Brooks Communication in Albuquerque, New Mexico. For League of the South Information and Firearms Training, call Dennis Crocker there in South Carolina. And we have Gearlings Equipment Rental in Southern California for heavy equipment. Friends, we are out of time on today's program. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you on the next show.